Hello! Welcome back to another episode on MegStories. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. I cheated on my husband of 14 years and lost him forever. This is long, but it's something I needed to get off of my chest. My husband, 36, and I, 36, have been together for 16 years and married for 14. We have two daughters who are 13 and 12. About 3 months ago, I cheated on him with my coworker once and immediately regretted it. To be honest, I still haven't figured out the real reason I cheated. On the surface level, the reason would be that my husband was too caught up with work for a couple of months, and I felt neglected and unappreciated at times. I know that isn't the real reason, so I'm trying to figure out what is through individual counseling. I only cheated on him that one time and immediately told him the next day because I couldn't bottle up my guilt and shame. He was shocked at first, but then went on to call me the most horrid names. I deserved it. I deserved a lot more than that. I don't even know how it got to the point of me sleeping with my coworker. It started with innocent flirting, and before I knew it, I made the worst mistake of my life by sleeping with him. I wish I'd gotten hit by a car that day before sleeping with him. I cut off all contact with my coworker and gave up my phone to my husband. I wanted to reassure him that I was willing to make this work on his terms, whatever they were, as long as he would give me another chance. Even though in my heart I knew that I wanted another chance to prove myself, I told him that I would understand if he went through with a divorce. Anyways, I told my husband that I would do anything to regain his trust and expressed my sorrow and regret for having hurt him so much. My husband has always been the type of guy to give a person only one chance. Even in his friendships, if the trust had been broken, he wouldn't give the other person another chance. He said that he wanted a divorce, but then the whole quarantine thing happened, and he stayed in the house for about 2 months and didn't proceed with the divorce. For the first month, he treated me very coldly, and the only time we talked was when it had to do with our daughters. I slept on the couch and tried to give him as much space as he needed, and only reminded him from time to time that if he ever wanted to work things out, I'd be more than willing to and would be completely devoted to the process of him working things out. He even said some spiteful things during that month and distanced himself from me completely. During the second month, there was a change as he began talking to me again. We talked about daily stuff and even watched movies together with the girls as a family. I felt like he wanted to try reconciling, and I was so happy. I was thrilled that there might be a chance to save my family, to save us. Eventually, through the next couple of days, I could sense us becoming friends all over again. He even invited me to sleep on the bed again. It was really working out, and I reminded him that he could talk about anything he wanted with me. A couple of weeks passed by, and we were getting along even better. We were spending time as a family again and had gotten closer with each other as well. I felt really good about the way things were going, but I wish I'd suggested marriage counseling. I just didn't want to pressure him and have him think that I wanted to sweep this situation under the rug or that I was trying to influence him to not divorce me. One night, we were drinking a bit, just talking in our bedroom, and I felt a genuine connection rebuilding. It felt like we were falling for each other all over again, and it made me so happy. This is the part I regret now. I decided to make a move on him and straddled him while we were laughing at a joke. We looked each other in the eyes, and so naturally, I began making out with him. It honestly felt like we were 20 all over again. He kissed me back as well, but after a while, he just started crying. He told me to stop and said that he couldn't. I felt so awful because I felt like he wanted to, but didn't at the same time. It broke my heart to directly see just how badly my stupid decision had hurt him. I told him that I was sorry, and we went to sleep. The reason I say I regret doing this is because I feel like this moment pushed him away forever. 2 days later, he informed me that he wanted to go through with a divorce. He said that he just doesn't think he could make it work even after trying for the last 2 months. I wanted to fight with him about it, but I just told him that I understood. We had already decided before that if a divorce was to happen, it would be on fair terms. Sure, we'd both have lawyers, but we agreed on a lot of the stuff together. He wanted to take a 2-week trip, but would come back to pick up the girls after his trip. We both mutually agreed that we'd split the time with the girls after his trip. They would spend half of the week with him and the other half with me. I even helped him pack up his stuff, and when we finished, I just bawled my out and we hugged it out. After his 2 weeks trip, he came back and it felt good seeing him again, but I knew it wasn't the same. He just smiled and we made small talk before he took the girls. We're both really good parents and want the best for our kids. Today, I got served divorce papers. It hurts so much to know that I lost my best friend because I was stupid. Sometimes I roll over to his side of the bed in the morning and I hate how I don't feel his body there anymore. I miss his smell, his smile, his voice. I miss him filling up the entire room with his loud, adorable laugh. I miss him so much. The thing that hurts me the most in all of this is knowing how badly I hurt the person I love the most. I wish I could go back in time and undo what I did, but I can't. So now here I am writing about it on Reddit while crying when there's nothing that I can do about it. I wish I could let him see for himself what I genuinely feel in my heart about how sorry I am and about how I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. To let him know just how much I love him and that I'd literally do anything for him. I fucked up the most perfect thing that ever happened to me. I wish I could get him back, but I know that I lost him forever. Now for the next story. Husband found out I slept with someone else when we were first dating. My husband 40, and I 24, been married for a little over a year, and we have a 4-month-old baby. We have been together about 3 years. Our relationship is mostly good and overall a good marriage. I was with my ex from 17-20. We broke up when he had to move for a job. He would be back in town kind of frequently, and for a while after we broke up, we would hang out. After doing this for a while, I decided I wanted to actually move on with my life and started dating. I met my now husband and really liked him, so we started dating. A few days after our first date, my ex showed up at my apartment, and we ended up having sex, and that was the last time it happened. It was hard for me at the time to cut him off. I still had some hang-ups about ex at that time. Husband and I got more and more serious, and I quickly, completely moved on and fell in love with him, forgot about my ex. Husband and I have been together since. My husband and I randomly ran into my ex while we were walking around downtown with our baby. We all talked for maybe 10 minutes, and it was no big deal. I guess this really bothered my husband. He acted like nothing was wrong at the time, and I couldn't tell at all that he was bothered. He made the decision sometime to charge and go through my old phone. It had the everything for years and years, photos, every text I sent or received. He had been secretly going through it for days, and looking at old photos and texts had him fuming. He finally lost it when he put it together that I had sex with ex after our first date. He had a total mental breakdown and completely trashed the house and my car. It was bad. He seriously lost his mind. Do you know how hard and how long it takes to clean a trashed house and car while taking care of a baby? I know it was wrong to sleep with my ex, but it was after our first date. I had no idea I would eventually marry him, but I should have been honest with him. It was so long ago. I tried to calm him down and apologize. He spent the night with a friend that night. He has calmed down a lot, but the tension is thick and I don't know what else to say or do to fix this. I want to resolve this issue. I think a good idea would be for us to go to a therapist so we can both get past it, but he won't do that. This is a throwaway account. I really need advice on dealing with this. Now for the next story. Did I cheat on my husband? I had been with my husband Eric for 7 years, married for 2 of them. He was verbally and physically abusive to me from the beginning. I left him suddenly one day after a big fight despite his extreme protests. I filed for divorce and moved in with family out of state. Him and I still talked from time to time and were both obviously hurting. He wanted me back, but I just felt our situation was too unhealthy. Trying to feel some sense of self-worth, I slept with someone else. I regretted it, and not too long after, I asked Eric if we could try counseling and try us again. He asked point blank if I had slept with anyone else in our separation, and I admitted that I had. He told me that I'm a cheater and that I broke our marriage vows because we were still married. He now says that there is absolutely no hope of us ever getting back together. Although our situation was unhealthy, I just miss our deep friendship and comfortability with each other. I'm devastated and at a loss. I feel like this entire thing is my fault and that I never should have left. My question is, did I cheat? I feel like he's using this as an excuse to put all the blame on me, so he does not have to accept responsibility for his role in the separation. I just am so sad and don't know what to do. I received his signed portion of the divorce papers, and I have to sign them to finalize it, but I'm too upset. Any attempt I make of asking him to get back together is met with a hard no. He wants to be friends, but I told him that's too painful if there's no hope for us to be together. But what do you make of this? I just am hoping maybe she's wrong though, and that there could be more hopeful options for us. I still want to be with him because I'm not perfect either. I was also abusive to him physically and verbally. The bad times were so bad, but the good times were so good, and I just miss the comfortable good times so badly and wish he could consider giving us another chance. After reading everyone's replies, I have decided to sign the papers and move on with my life. It is very sad for me to accept. Before I submit the papers, I am seeing my therapist in a few days, and I will ask her how to cope with the sadness that will arise from it. Okay, so many people are telling me that I'm codependent. I looked into that and I probably am. People are also telling me to work on myself before my next relationship, so I'll try that. I've been reading every single comment and still am. Thank you, everyone. If you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more of it, support the channel. Feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications.